All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back to New Record Day. My name is Ron. We are going to do something different today. We're going to be checking out some loudspeakers that I'm not allowed to talk about until March, is what it looks like. And so, I don't know what I'm going to do, but in the magic of editing, you're going to see something here that is not these speakers. In terms of the equipment that we're using to do the recording, I have my Earthworks QTC40s. They are 39 inches away from these speakers. And then I have this binaural microphone that was sent in from 3DO. And I wasn't really super happy with what we were getting out of the binaural tracks before, but after investigating what it ends up that there's a 10 dB rise at 5K with this mic. I mean, it's crazy. So it's very bright. And so I'm going to try this again. I'm going to do some post-editing EQ and see if I can tame it down a little bit, get it to where I'm liking it. And if I don't, then it will just be the Earthworks QTC40s. But I want to give it another try, see if I can make it work and, end up with something I'm a little happier with. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to run through some songs just like we normally do. I need to be careful about the commentary that I'm giving because I don't want to give too much away. So, you guys are going to be reviewing these speakers. Let me know what you hear in the comment section down below. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you hear, what you don't hear. And I'll do my best to kind of, help you guys navigate to the best of my ability. All of the tracks that we are using are from what's called Epidemic Sound. This is a subscription-based music service that I pay money to get these tracks, and then I compile all these tracks and essentially create a little package that I send off to Patreon. And so if you are a patron of New Record Day, you're able to see the complete track listings, along with, you can actually download all these tracks and play them on your own system. I know that it's a bummer that I'm not telling you in the YouTube video what the track listing is. I get it. I want that to be a perk for the patrons. And I feel like if I was just telling you what the tracks are, you could just go and find them and then, well, what the heck is the point of, creating this package for the patrons? That's why I do it. So consider supporting the channel. Just consider it. That's all I'm asking. And I hope you enjoy the video. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to do something different. You guys are going to dig this. So let's go ahead and start with Mel Vocals. And as we kind of trek through this, I've got an idea that you guys are going to like. So let's go. Immediately, if you hear static, that is in the recording. We're going to talk about that in a second. They're doing one of these cheesy, scratchy vinyl effects. I'm not a fan, but here we go.
Seldom get realized. For me, you were a part of life that escaped and left me outside. Who could see the wheel of time and that you were still a friend of mine? Our story wasn't over yet. And no one can tell what's coming next. The journey is not ours to control. The journey is not ours to control. I'm glad that it is so.
So, kind of a cheesy song, to be honest with you, but it works. Here's what we're gonna do. Let me isolate the drums and the effects. I'm not gonna play the whole thing all over again through the chorus, but just listen to this. Kind of gives you an idea, right? Let's go ahead and isolate the vocals.
It's funny how it all played out. Broken dreams seldom get realized. For me you were a part of life that escaped and left me outside. But who could see the wheel of time, and that you were still a friend of mine? Our story wasn't over yet, and no one can tell what's coming next. Ooh, the journey is not ours to control. The journey is not ours to control, and I'm glad that it is so. I'm lucky it is so.
So that kind of gives you a different perspective when we start isolating some specific things in the song. And I love doing this kind of stuff. I geek out doing this kind of stuff. And so let's go ahead and start. We're going to review these speakers. What is the big picture? And this is the way that I review things, just to kind of give you an idea. If I sit these down and I start reviewing these, I'm not getting into the subtleties. I'm trying to determine what is the big picture of what we hear. So comments down below, what is the big picture in terms of the overall sound and the voicing of this particular speaker? Let's go ahead and answer this question. Are we listening to towers? Are we listening to bookies? Are they dynamic drivers? Are we listening to open baffle? Electrostats? This is fun. Good luck, guys. All right, let's go ahead and move into an acoustic guitar. Why not? I'm not going to isolate anything on this track because I just like the way that it sounded complete. So here we go, acoustics. I like that track quite a bit. So, what are you hearing? What are you hearing and what are you not hearing? These are going to be the questions that you need to be asking yourself as you're reviewing something. So let's just start with, acoustic guitars, depending on how it's mic'd, they sit right in the heart of midband. I mean, they are truly going to be playing right in vocal territory, right in the heart of midband, no doubt about that. That would be like the body of the acoustic. Now, depending on the mic techniques, if it's going to be neck heavy, so if they're blending in stuff that is being heard on the neck, that's going to be popping off quite a bit higher, okay? So, are you hearing more body? Are you hearing some of the stuff that we might talk about in the time domain? Are you hearing a good amount of clarity out of the loudspeakers? Are we starting to hear something that is going to be a little bit more heft and weight down below, a little bit more bloom down below? Are we hearing something that might ride the line of being detail-centric? Do you feel like as you're listening to this track, does it sound like it has a tilted top end? Is it balanced? Is it kind of even throughout the entire frequency band? Or do you feel like one thing is going to be heavier than the other? These are the kind of questions that I ask myself as I'm reviewing speakers. And these are going to be basic building blocks, fundamentals, right? And then from there you start, experimenting with different gear and things like that, and pairings and figuring out what it likes and what it doesn't like, so on and so forth. Now is a good time to mention the gear that we are using is the Shit Audio Freya Plus. The tubes are engaged, and I'm running balanced into the Purify Evaluation 1 board. That's the stereo version of the Purify board, and I'll leave links down below. I'm using the Zenith, Ineos Zenith music server that is going into the MADAC. So pretty insane front end. I love it. That's what I'm using on the front end. I don't expect you to rush out and buy that equipment if you're going to be spending $2,000 on loudspeakers, but do what you will. Do what you will. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to, let's do something kind of funky. Let's do some funky bass. We'll do the complete song first. What is it with this scratchy vinyl record effect that everybody freaking loves? I think it's just gimmicky. Sorry. Just had to throw that in there. It's gimmicky. Nobody likes it but you silly musicians. A groovy little number, right? Got a couple of different interesting things going on in this track. Let's go ahead and just isolate those drums. Kind of a cool little number there. Let's go ahead and isolate just the bass. All right, that gives you an idea. Kind of a bit repetitive, but it does the job. So what did we decide? Are these towers? Are they bookies? What does the bass sound like? Are you hearing some texture and tone? Are you able to clearly identify all of the bass notes that are being played? Comments down below. No pressure. This is fun. All right, blues guitar. No, let's do something rockish. Let's do some rock. Let's do this rock song. All right, here we go. Rock song. Here we go. Full thing. Let's just isolate that guitar. Let's isolate the drums. Oh man, you want to hear what compression sounds like? You hear it right away? These things are compressed and brick-walled. Check this out. They have those drums so compressed that the compression almost becomes part of the part of the song. Like it's actually being used almost as like an instrument. It's crazy how much compression they used on those. But it works. You know, you get a big, fat, huge sound, and you know, a lot of rock stuff, it's compressed, and that's okay. That's okay. All right, let's go ahead and let's do something bluesy. We're gonna do some blues guitars. Here we go. of the stuff on Epidemic Sound I think is pretty cheesy, but I actually like that. I want to isolate the drums and percussion on this one. Kind of some cool stuff. I like that track quite a bit, actually. That one, I don't mind so much. All right, let's go ahead and do a drum and bass groove. Here we go. Man, that's another one that I dig. What about the scale of these speakers? Let's talk about that, because that was a track that I think exercises scale. How big can these things actually sound? Do they sound big to you? Do these sound like they are lighting up the entire room? Hopefully the mics are able to capture it. Probably not, but let me know. Let me know. All right, guys, last track. Let's go ahead and do, actually, let's isolate some stuff on that. I really like that track a lot. Let's isolate the drums. You hear that big boom? Let's go ahead and isolate just the bass. If it sounds like these speakers have no top end, it's not the speaker's problem. They're going for a specific tone with this bass. It's often referred to as like a woolly type sound, kind of a vintage woolly sound. And it's a sound. I actually like it in the context of the entire song. It works. But when you isolate it, you're like, there is no detail in that bass. And that is certainly true. All right, let's go ahead and finish up with female vocals. This track is a bit poppy and clubbish for my liking, but it does the job, and I actually like the vocals on this. All right, here we go.
On my own, but I'm never alone. On a road to wherever I want. And you see, I'll go with the wind, the blazes of it, I keep them within. Holding on to a feeling so strong.
Let's go ahead and just isolate the echoes and the keys and listen to that. And let's go ahead and just isolate just the vocals.
On but I'm never alone. On a road to wherever I want. And you see, I go with the wind, the places I've been, I keep them within. Holding on to a feeling so strong. On my own. On my own. On my own. I made it on my own.
All right, guys, that was fun. I didn't have to work so hard. You guys did. So comments down below. Mystery speakers, they're going to be reviewed and out in March, sometime in March. I don't have an exact date. They are under $2,000 for the pair. I have told you we are listening to dynamic drivers, so that's one hint. Here's some questions for you. Would you guess that they are ported or sealed? I think I mentioned earlier they're a two-way loudspeaker. If not, I'm going to mention it now. They're a two-way loudspeaker. I'm going to give you a couple more hints. They're a two-way loudspeaker that when I first saw them, I got nervous. There is a tweeter and there are two woofers. And they're a two-way loudspeaker. So we have woofer, woofer, and then tweeter. Pop quiz for any of you guys that have been paying attention to the measurements and some of the past reviews. Why would Ron from New Record Day get a little bit nervous in a configuration like that? Why would I go, uh-oh, are we going to have a problem here? Any guesses? Comments down below. First person that guesses it right, I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you something actually really cool. I'm currently reviewing the KLH Fusion earbuds that were sent over to review. They already told me that the sample is mine to keep after I'm done posting the review. So when I'm done with that review, I'll give those away. They're $199. They're yours. First person that can tell me the correct answer in the comments section down below, why would I be nervous about a two-way loudspeaker that has a tweeter and two woofers below it? What would be the reason that I would get nervous? All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this worked out. I know it's a little bit different from the norm, but I had a blast doing it. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. I do appreciate it. And comments down below. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.